Platinum, one of the most underrated precious metals out there, and the price should be a lot higher. And I'm going to explain to you why in this video as we explore. There's a lot of reasons why platinum should be a lot higher in price than where it is now. For those of you who've been following the markets for the last 20 or 30 or maybe even 40 years, you know there was a time when platinum was a lot higher. I'm talking about 2 times higher than gold at some times. But now it's trading much less than half the price of gold, and it's barely breaking through $1,000 an ounce as I record this video. There's a lot of frustration out there with platinum, and many of you are not even going to touch the metal like I just did. I'm touching it all over the place, and I'm also holding it. And not many of you do not really care to hold this metal. You see it as sort of a dull-looking version of silver, a heavier version of silver, and it is what I refer to as a fringe precious metal. Now, what does that mean? I've actually labeled the platinum group metals and other precious metals as fringe metals. Anything outside of silver and gold is out of the mainstream of stacking, so as it is referred to. But I do have a stack of platinum. I actually posted a full platinum stack video recently. I hope you will check that out. But it is a little bit more of a gamble when you get into the platinum group metals. And I'm going to talk about why platinum's price should be higher. But the fact of the matter is, it's not higher. And it may be some time before it gets higher than where it is now. I'm going to be referencing an article from mining.com that gives us a little bit of insight as to the supply deficit and what the Investment Council says about it. That's another thing we have to think about. The World Platinum Investment Council, well, they have an agenda as well, too, and it is to promote platinum, just as the Silver Institute wants to promote silver. The third lowest platinum mining output this century can't keep up with rising investment demand. Jewelry in a sustained traditional car market using catalytic converters, according to an industry group. A 1 million ounce deficit is forecast this year, up from 731,000 ounce deficit in last year. In 2023, as supply edges 1% lower to nearly 7.1 million ounces, while demand is expected to grow 3%, the largest gain in 5 years, up 8.1 million ounces. The World Platinum Investment Council says in a recently issued report. The council, which represents miners of platinum group metals, forecasts investor demand driven by exchange-traded funds and metal bar and coin sales in China to rise 15% to 517,000 ounces this year. Jewelry use is to increase by 7%, while mining production is to ease by 1%. Automotive and industrial demand are each predicted to increase 1%, but their levels are already high, the council's research director Edward Sturck told the Northern Miner by phone. Automotive demand is at a 7-year high, and very much the theme there is higher for longer demand for internal combustion engine containing vehicles. This is from Sturck from London, where the council was based. If you exclude the COVID impact in 2020 and 2014, which was impacted by strikes, it's actually the weakest year for mine supply since 2000. Now think about that. The weakest year for mine supply, excluding those 2 years, that is something. Now we know what happened in 2020, and the price of platinum fell to about $600 an ounce. It is now almost double that, and it's starting to pick up a little bit. So we could be at the beginning of a new bull run for platinum. Platinum demand can act as a bellwether for the uptake of electric vehicles, which don't use catalytic converters to reduce emissions. Leading automakers such as Ford, Toyota, and Stellantis have scaled back EV production amid slower than expected sales, although hybrids are maintaining growth as vehicle producers lean on them to hit emission targets. Hybrid autos require more platinum proportionally than traditional cars because their systems operate at lower temperatures, Sturck said. That is amazing. And this is the lifeline that platinum is getting from another piece from Reuters that talks about this. A surge in sales of hybrid cars as electric vehicles take-up slows to set up provide an unexpected boost for demand for platinum group metals in the coming years, similar to the extended lifespan now predicted for coal. So watch platinum, folks. We could see it start to move soon. And again, that's just that may or may not happen. We've been disappointed by platinum in the past. In fact, it's been hovering at this range between $900 and just over $1,000 for a long time now. It's stagnant, but that stagnancy may come to an end soon. PGMs, principally platinum and palladium, face a long-term structural decline in demand as their main use is to clean auto exhaust, a process that is not needed in pure electric vehicles. A few years ago, the prospects of PGMs and producers such as Anglo Platinum, Impala Platinum, and Sibanye Stillwater appear grim as EV sales soared and the drop-off in demand was expected to be steep. But a tapering in growth of EV sales and a surge in demand for hybrid cars that need catalytic converters to curb pollution have given PGMs a new lease on life that could put a floor under prices and keep some mines open for longer. You're still facing an outright demand decline, but there's not an immediate collapse, which could have been the projection in some previous scenarios, according to Marcus Garvey, head of commodity strategy at Macquarie Bank in Singapore. The increase in sales of pure EVs globally in the first half of 2024 slowed to 11% year-over-year, while plug-in hybrid sales jumped 44% according to consultancy Row Motion. For EVs, the figures are a big fall off from 2 years ago when sales had rocketed 77%. And so this is going to be something. The strength of hybrids is something that could last until 2030 or longer, extending the period when PGMs are needed, analysts said. So this is good news. The shift for hybridization could be quite meaningful for the longer-term sustainability of the PGM industry, according to Wilma Swartz, director of PGMs at consultancy Metal Focus. The weakness in EV sales means that combined sales of petrol and hybrid cars, which are expected to be flat last year, climbed by 9%, according to catalyst maker and PGM specialist Johnson Matthey. This alone added 600,000 ounces to our automotive PGM demand estimates, it said in a report, adding that total to PGM demand rose 8% last year to 13.1 million ounces, the second highest total ever. This is something. Watch platinum, folks. And I'm not saying it's going to go up overnight or skyrocket in price, but one thing we do know, the PGM metals are volatile. In fact, it was just a few years ago when we saw palladium skyrocket to over $3,000 an ounce. Rhodium climbed up to $20,000. I mean, almost $30,000 an ounce, if my memory serves. And platinum, given that it is much rarer than gold, up to 15 times more rare than gold. Palladium the same, some say even more rare. And the supply chains for it are very delicate. In other words, it's only mined and mostly in South Africa and also in Siberia, Russia. Given those fundamentals and the kind of economies and the geopolitical situations that we find ourselves in these days, it very well could mean that platinum could be very much in demand and very much needed and wanted. Therefore, the price could essentially, it could skyrocket. I'm not ruling out that possibility to occur again. Now, because this is a fringe precious metal, as I said, it means also that there's a lot more risk involved. If you're going to invest in any metal, platinum may be the one that provides just as much risk as reward. And for me, I've been holding in platinum for a long time. I've done fairly well with it by buying and holding for a long period of time, so that in a sense, it has, by and large, preserved my wealth. That's really not the role of platinum, though. It's not really considered a monetary metal, though in 3 of the 4 forms you see here, they are indeed minted coins, bullion coins, in fact. But it is a riskier investment strategy to diversify your metals portfolio, in my view, which is why I don't have a whole lot of it. But every ounce that I've got and every bit that I hold, I'm going to hang on to for sure. And why is that? Well, because I think that there could be a good time for platinum in our future. And so therefore, I am going to hang on to it. And also because I just enjoy the metal. I think it's a cool looking metal. It is considered a bit more dull than silver in terms of appearance, but you know, that's not really that big of a deal because silver is the most reflective metal on the planet. So of course, anything compared to silver is going to look pretty dull, especially with brilliant strikes like you see here. But I do believe that the density of the metal means it's a pretty much almost very difficult to fake. And so therefore, you hold on to the metal. And if you have tungsten, tungsten's not as dense as platinum is. And so most of the coins that you see typically are the same diameter as your gold bullion counterparts, but notably thinner. For every single case that you see out there, see how thin that is. And here's the American Eagle version of the platinum coin, and it is a popular coin that's been out since 1997, and I got this one back in 2020 when the price of platinum was very, very low, trading somewhere around $600 an ounce, maybe even a little bit less. So there you have it. Let me know what your thoughts are about platinum. I know it's not for everybody, but hey, this is called the Salivate Metal Channel, which means that I talk about all the metals. Yes, indeed. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. Would like to extend a multitude of gratitude to each and every one of you for taking the time to watch and to encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.